Hey guys, in this video I'm going to be showing you how to graph rational functions. We're going to start by listing out the steps. So step 1, or steps to graphing. Step 1 is going to be determine any vertical asymptotes. To do this, we need to set our denominator equal to 0. And solve for x. So first step, determine any vertical asymptotes. Second step, determine any horizontal asymptotes. So to determine your horizontal asymptotes, remember you need to compare the degree of the numerator to the degree of the denominator. And then remember the 3 different situations. So after we've determined our asymptotes, the third thing that we need to do is to determine any X or Y intercepts. So remember, for X-Intercepts, we set y equal to 0, and for Y-Intercepts, we set x equal to 0. After we know our X and Y intercepts, what you're going to do next is graph everything you know. So you'll graph your vertical asymptotes, your horizontal asymptote, your X and your Y intercepts. And then you'll notice you don't know the complete graph. So what you have to do last is make a table and determine some more points. So you're going to determine some more points to help make your graph more accurate. So first, find any vertical asymptotes. Second, horizontal asymptotes. Third, X and Y intercepts. Fourth, graph everything you know. And fifth, make a table and determine your additional points. So first example, we're going to graph f of x equals 2x plus 1 over 3x minus 4. So remember, the first step is vertical asymptotes. So first thing we do to find that, we're going to set the denominator 3x minus 4 equal to 0 and solve for x. So we have 3x equals positive 4, divide by 3. So x equals 4/3. That is our vertical asymptote. Then we need to find our horizontal asymptotes. To do that, we look at the degree of the numerator, which is 1, the degree of the denominator, which is 1. Since 1 equals 1, our asymptote is going to be y equals, and we look at the ratio of the leading coefficients, which in this case is 2/3. So our horizontal asymptote is at y equals 2/3. The third thing we need to do is determine any x-intercepts and any y-intercepts. So for x-intercepts, remember we need to set our whole equation equal to 0. So we'll have 0 equals 2x plus 1 all over 3x minus 4. To start solving, the first thing we're going to do is multiply both sides by 3x minus 4 to get rid of it in the denominator. And we're left with 0 equals 2x plus 1. Now we just subtract 1, divide by 2. So that is our root, or our 0, so we need to rewrite it as negative 1/2 comma 0 to have an x-intercept. For a y-intercept, we're going to do f of 0, substitute 0 in for our x values. We get 2 times 0 plus 1 all over 3 times 0 minus 4. 2 times 0 is 0, plus 1 is 1. 3 times 0 minus 4 is negative 4. So when x is 0, our y value is negative 1/4. So there is our y-intercept. So now what we do is step 4. We're going to graph everything we know. So if I go up here, you see I have a 5 by 5 coordinate plane. The nice thing is we'll be giving you guys your coordinate planes, so you won't have to worry on your test about making them. So let's graph our vertical asymptote at 4/3. So I'm going to go over to 4/3, make a vertical line. It doesn't have to be exactly at 4/3, just do your best. Then a horizontal asymptote at 2/3. And don't forget to label these. So this is x equals 4/3 and y equals 2/3. Then I'm going to plot the x and y intercepts that we found. So our x-intercept was at negative 1/2, 0. And our y-intercept is at 0, negative 1/4. So at this point, you might think you know what it's going to look like in this quadrant. So you could probably make your graph if you wanted to. If you weren't sure, then that's what step 5 is for. So step 5, remember, is make a table and determine more points to help make your graph more accurate. Now, there aren't specific points you have to do. It's what do you need. So I'm going to make a table X, Y. And if I wanted to, I could pick points over here to make my graph more accurate. Or if I'm feeling pretty good about my graph, I need to pick some points to the right of my vertical asymptote now, so that I know exactly where I need to plot the rest of my function. So I could pick points like 2 and 3. And what I'm going to do now is substitute these into my equation. So if I substitute 2 in for x, what's 2 times 2 plus 1 divided by 3 times 2 minus 4? You should get 2.5. Then I can substitute 3 into my equation. You should get about 1.4. And then I'll plot these points. So I'm going to go, when x is 2, y is 2.5. And when x is 3, y is 1.4. And then at this point you might also know what your graph is going to look like. And again, if you're not confident and you're like, I'm not sure, I feel like I need more points, then pick more points. You could choose 5 and 4 as well, or you could choose -1 and -2, -3, -4, and -5. You can do as many x values as you need. But because we had nothing in this region at all, we did need to make some values. You can't just guess. Or use a graphing calculator because you won't be allowed.